All right, well, good morning. Welcome to everyone to St. Bridget Spiritualist Church for Sunday, May 11th, and it is Mother's Day today. Prior to coming online, I just had spoke to everybody about the importance of being a mother and it resonating in whatever shape or form that is to you. So if you at any level feel that you are a mother, I want you to embrace that and enjoy that today. And know that all you need today is your love, your acceptance, and your truth. You don't need that reassurance from someone else that you are a mother, you're a good mother, or any of that, okay? I want you to feel that in your heart because you know truly who you are, okay? So today, what I wanted to talk about is something that I found myself going through, and I really felt that I do need to talk about it because I feel I always believe that you have a story to tell, and your story is, you never know, but your story could help someone else who may be going through something that they're not ready to talk about, because there's some pretty profound things that happen when you start to open up to in spiritualism. You start opening yourself up to, you know, to universe, to God, creator, to this beautiful collective. So about 2 years ago, I unknowingly started finding myself almost spiraling out of control. I found myself feeling very much like I didn't understand why I was where I was. Like prior to this, it was just one thing after another. It's just like you just get beat down, right? And I was raised like, you know, great, keep going, be proud, pick yourself back up. And that was actually something that someone had said to me like years ago. Something had ended in my life, and she said, you know, of all the people that I know, I've seen you do this before, but you always pick yourself back up and you just keep going. And, you know, at the time do I really? You know, because I didn't really embrace that. And I didn't at the time realize what that breaking down and rebuilding was doing. Okay. And it takes time, but well, forward to 2023, things just really started to not, you know, things that may have earlier kind of felt like I was either putting myself in and just kind of walking the line so that there was no, you know, turbulence, or, you know, doing things for other people, but didn't always sit with me, but I did it because I felt that, you know, this is what society wanted and this is what people expected of you, and, you know, had all those different, you have those beliefs that you're raised, whether it's through like religion or your community or, you know, political areas. You have this, your families, you have this idea of this is who you have to be, and if you're not here, you're either you're not good, or, you know, you're the black sheep, or, you know, people don't want to have anything to do with you, because it's kind of scary when people start stepping out, because everybody wants to be different, but nobody wants to be different. And so for me, honest to God, I thought I was having either like an existential crisis, like a nervous breakdown. I didn't know what was going on. Nothing was sitting with me anymore. The relationship I was in, you know, I was realizing that for a very long time, I was no longer who I was in that. And I just started taking in, and I started hearing words from different people, you know, how they saw me. And I just, no, you know, like this, what is going on? And it was like a constant, almost felt like I was going crazy. Like I would just cry. For no real reason, but I would just cry, and I just didn't know who I was. And there was conflicts with people, and everything was breaking away. And I thought, oh my gosh, like my whole world is falling apart. What is going on? What have I done? Why am I so, you know, what have I done to cause this? And all of a sudden, one day, I realized what was happening, because I started to see brighter. My mediumship got stronger because it started to feel it. And I realized I was having a spiritual awakening. I had broken away from all these things. You know, I've always been the one who, you know, people are like, oh, this is who I'm voting for. This is who I'm voting for, or whatever. And it just got stronger and stronger as over this time going, well, I say, well, why would I vote for anybody? Because it's all the same. You know, like you start to see, your eyes start to open. You start to really see what's going on. And that really made a lot of people turn from me, because I suddenly was standing in my truth. I was standing in who I was, what I believed, and I wasn't going to allow people to make me feel like I needed to fit in a certain place so that they could accept me. And when those people couldn't accept me anymore, they fell to the side. Of course, it's not as easy as that, but you know, really it was that easy. I was able to shed relationships that were not serving me whatsoever. And I was able to become a better parent for my children, to model to them, you don't need to be what everybody expects you to be. In particular, my children are Indigenous, so they do have very different struggles than I've had growing up. And so I am very aware of what they've done. So to me, it's very important to let them know, you be who you are. You be proud of who you are. You be proud of anything that, you know, that you can embrace. And don't let other people dictate who you are, because that is huge to them. And to watch them also just, you know, they have grown so much as well. And so with this spiritual awakening, I know there's so many people that don't understand, and you go through a depression. You go through it's like hard depression. And, you know, you got to shut that ego up, right? That ego is not there to serve you. Okay. That ego is there to keep you kind of just around, but we don't need to live in our ego, because that is your head. That is not your heart. That is not your spirit. That is not your soul. And if you don't listen, you will get if you want to stay deaf to it, I guess, and not listen, that depression and things are just going to get worse and worse and worse until God, universe, creator, you know, basically has no choice but to say, here, you have no choice. Now you need to listen, you know, and so things will just get difficult until you finally just release yourself. You open yourself up and just say, you know what, universe, God, whoever you see as your divine source, and just say, okay, universe, show me what you got. Show me how beautiful. Show me my path. And that's when things will just start to unfold, and you will see abundance that you have never, ever imagined. You're going to see things in your life that, you know, you can't even explain, because it's just, you're no longer in the confines of what people are telling you that you have to be and what you need to do. And I'm not saying that things are going to be easy, because certainly I believe there's a bit of a hierarchy. You can't just get everything right away, because I think that would just you would short circuit, right? But it gives you enough that you can move up, and you can embrace it, and you can grow. And so there's too many people who will just say, oh, well, she's crazy, or, you know, oh, he's lost his, you know, and you've heard about these people, right? Because you see these people who are doing these things, and that's fear-based, that's ego-based, because they've been taught change is not good, right? Like, that change is not good. You know, pushing back against society, religion, politics, whatever, that's not good. You know, you want to, because that has been constructed to keep us going the way they want us to go. But once we start to embrace this awakening, this change, and you're here, you're going to do it. It's going to happen to you. I'm sorry. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time for what's going to happen. But know that you're not going crazy. You're not, you know, of course, there are times where, you know, there may be medical reasons. So please, please, please make sure that you are aware of those. Please do not, you know, like, oh, well, this is just that. No, please. If there's something medical, do that. But also know that don't feel that when you feel like you're going crazy, because you will. You'll just want to cry and cry and cry all the time. And that's just releasing. That's releasing all those years of suppression, and you're breaking the cycle. You're breaking what has, over the lives, your generational generational things that have been set there. You're breaking free of those. And now you are going to be the person who's going to show other people that this is okay, and you will move on, and you will love, and you'll be able to embrace. And there's a lot of people who also in this will have maybe not listen, and I'm not saying this is all the time, but it is very common when someone's not willing to listen and they just won't shut that ego up, because they are so entrenched in, in their past hurt, and like, I can't move on, and I remember this happened, so I can't do this, and I can't accept this. A lot of those people are going to get pushed to like a near-death experience or something where you're going to be forced to break free from your ego and realize what is open there, and start seeing. And obviously that's extreme. I have not experienced that, but a lot of the stuff that I've listened to, this is very common for a lot of people, that's what, because we are stubborn, we are stubborn. We are going to sit there and we're going to listen to that ego no matter, because we somehow think that even though things have never really seemed to sit right with us, or just always seem to be going wrong, we seem to think we would rather be unhappy and know what's that it's always going to be unhappy than reach out into, the possibility of going out to the unknown and accepting the unknown. Okay. So I just want you to be aware of this and kind of feel this. A lot of the reason why I wanted to bring it up today is because that was very much very deep in a lot of my readings yesterday. A lot of people to know, just because everybody feels that you should be this person doesn't mean you need to be that person. You don't need to be and do all these things. You're not the words that these people have always said to you, because there's so many people that are just have made the idea of who they are the things that people said to them, whether when you're growing up, because those things will sit inside you for life, and you will make your decision that this is who you are because someone has said these words. Someone has said you are not good enough. They're not actually telling you you're not good enough. They are saying, I am not good enough, and I'm scared if you realize that I'm not good enough for you, you're going to walk away from me. Okay, so they want to keep you there. They're not saying, that's what they're saying. They're saying, this is my fear. This is what somebody will say, oh, you're just lazy, you're whatever. They're not saying you're lazy. They're saying, this is my fear of what I am, and I'm going to put it onto you. And so you need to release those things that these people have said, okay? So you need to just be aware that this is what happens. And I'm sure there's very varying degrees. Mine was, it was crazy. And it wasn't until I just went, oh my gosh, because how I realized what was happening to me was Spirit had told me to actually go back to a reading that I'd had a year before and listen to it. I remembered I'd had the reading, didn't remember anything about it. Actually kind of thought, that was kind of, I don't even remember having any real thoughts after I left. And, but when because I record all my readings, I just kind of got, as I was walking to my vehicle one day, it just said, listen to that reading. So I turned it on, listening to it as I was driving down, driving home from work. And I was like, what? Oh my God. It actually was saying, it was basically saying everything that was happening. It was telling me what was going to be happening. And they were telling me I was going to be having this spiritual awakening, because Spirit was trying to put me in balance, because I had been fighting for so long to be stuck in this not great spot, be stuck in this you know, jail in my head of who I am or who I was and what I did, and always trying to please other people, always trying to make sure everybody was, you know, getting along, you know, never saying anything because I didn't want to, you know, upset somebody, because, you know, you can sometimes say things to people and that'll just like set it off, right? You know, we've all had family dinners, I'm sure, like that, but you just know who not to say certain things to, right? So it was just, it was unbelievable. And again, with the readings yesterday, so many people had their loved ones come through to say that. You are not what these people are saying to you. You are living your life how people have put you to live your life. You're not living who you are. You're not living your authentic truth. You're not living your authentic self. And that's who you need to be. And I can promise you, once you have allowed yourself to release that and allowed yourself to know you're worthy of that unconditional love, you're worthy of all beautiful things that can come to you. You're worthy of every single thing that you have done for other people, but other people haven't done for you, because you've taught them that. You've taught them, I will give this to you, but I'm not worthy of it. But now you are going to be, no, you are worthy of all these things. You're worthy of others' generosity. You're worthy of other people's love. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all, because I want you all to know that that's exactly, you know, where true happiness will lie. You know, I'm not saying every day is going to be perfect, but more days are going to be better than not. Okay, and you still, it's possible that's still going to happen, because I don't think, again, that it's all going to just kind of all shake down at once, but it can throw you to some pretty profound spots in life, and it can be pretty scary at times, because you don't know. But no, you have us. Please come, you know, if anybody ever starts to feel this way or have these things, you know, you can reach out to me. I'm sure other people, you know, would be good sources, but I know I've been through it, and I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody, because I don't want anybody to try to figure out what was going on like I had to, because it was really tough. It was very, very tough. But it's beautiful. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody online. Thank you so much for joining us today, and happy Mother's Day.